Hey, what is up everyone? Today we are going to do some basic exploitation with the Metasploit tool in Kali Linux. If you don't know about Metasploit, it is an open source penetration testing framework widely used by security researchers, ethical hackers, and cybersecurity professionals to identify and exploit vulnerabilities in systems, networks, and applications. It provides a comprehensive set of tools, exploits, payloads, and modules designed to simulate real-world cyber attacks, allowing users to test the security of their own systems or networks. This video is made completely with beginners in mind, but if you already know what's going on in the video, you can stick with it. Maybe you'll learn something new. And if you are new here, don't just forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button. Fire up your Kali Linux because this is where we are going to run the Metasploit tool. Now open your terminal. First, we need to check if the Metasploit framework is installed on our Linux system. If you are using Kali Linux, it comes pre-installed with Metasploit framework, but if it's any other Linux distro, you may need to install it manually. You can easily install it by typing sudo apt install metasploit framework. Once it is installed, we can move on to the next steps in our exploitation process. Basically, there are two methods for exploitation. First, we can create a payload, send it to the victim, and when the victim clicks on it, we will get a session. The other way is, if the target machine is running some kind of vulnerable software, we can exploit it and gain access to the system. These are the two basic ways. There are a lot of others, but we are only going to cover these in this video. But remember, this video is for educational purposes only. Don't try this on anyone else's system. Set up your own environment and test it there. If you try this on someone else's computer, you'll put yourself in trouble, or maybe even behind bars. Alright, so let's start with creating a payload. In Metasploit framework, we actually get a tool named MSF Venom, which allows us to create payloads for different systems and in different languages. Yeah, Metasploit is actually a framework, and we get multiple tools inside it. You can type MSF Venom in your terminal to view its help. Now, if you are a complete beginner in hacking and don't even know basic hacking commands and tools, but are still eager to learn, I'd recommend checking out our 250 plus hacking commands cheat sheet from the link in the description. We have covered 250 plus different hacking commands in that cheat sheet, which are perfect for beginners for just $4.99. I have tried to make the cheat sheet understandable even for those who are new to computer and hacking stuff. Every command is given with a detailed explanation and an example. Okay, so we are going to make a Python payload today because Python can run on both Linux and Windows. You can type MSF Venom-L payloads to list all available payloads you can create with MSF Venom. Since we are making a Python payload, we can scroll through and find something like this one. If you don't understand everything right now, don't worry, it's normal. The payload we are going to use in this video is Python metasploit reverse TCP. It will establish a reverse TCP connection with our target, which is usually considered a good approach. Let me explain. We will listen for the connection and our target device will connect to us. It's similar to a reverse shell. If you haven't watched that video of mine, you can click the I button above to check it out. Okay, now copy the payload and clear everything from your terminal using the clear command. Now follow along with this big command. Type sudo msf venom, then -p for payload, and after that, paste your copied payload. Next, we have to specify our local host, which is where we want our payload to connect back. You need to enter your own system's IP address here. If you don't know your IP address, open a new terminal and type ifconfig. It will show you different interfaces connected to your system along with their corresponding IP addresses. But remember, a device can have more than one IP address. Copy your IP address and paste it after lhost, just like what you see on your screen. After that, we have to specify a port. Ports are like doors that allow entry into a network or system. You can use any port here, but avoid those that are already assigned to specific programs, like port 22, which is reserved for SSH. We can use a port like 4444. After specifying the port, we can use a redirection operator to redirect our payload into a Python file. It will take 2 or 3 seconds to get your payload ready. Okay, so now we are done with making our first payload using Metasploit. I'll use it in a while, but before that, let's set up a listener where our payload will connect back, allowing us to gain access to the targeted system. To do that, clear the previous stuff from your screen using the clear command and type sudo msf console. This is another tool included in the Metasploit package. It comes with a lot of exploits, payloads, and other tools. Alright, so here's what you need to do next. First, type the following command. This tells Metasploit that we want to use an exploit that can handle multiple connections for us. After that, type use, followed by payload, and our payload name, which is Python metasploit reverse TCP. Now, if you type show options, you'll see the required parameters. We need to specify lhost and lport. The lport is already set to 4444, which is good, so we just need to specify lhost. Copy and paste your system's IP address here once again. Once you're done, type run-j to run this job in the background. Okay, so now our listener is actively listening for incoming connections. If someone runs the payload on their system, we will get a session over here. Again, I'm saying this. I'm testing all of this on my my own system. Do not try this on anyone else's system. This is not a very sneaky way of exploitation, and you don't want to put yourself or others in trouble. Set up your own system and try it there. Okay, so now I have my payload ready and my listener is also set up. Let's run the payload and see how everything goes. I'm using my own Linux machine to run this, but if you have virtual machines set up, you can send this Python file to one of them and run it over there. Just make sure that both devices are on the same network. Alright, so when I run it in my terminal, you can see nothing happened. We didn't even get any error. But let's check back in our listener terminal, and there it is. It says a new session has been opened. To list all active sessions, just type sessions. You'll see a list of all active sessions. Now, if you want to interact with a specific session, type sessions-I followed by the session ID, which in this case is 1, and then press enter, and you can see that we are now connected to our target. From this point, anything can be done with the system remotely. Pretty dangerous, right? But this is just basic. If you dig deeper, you'll discover even more advanced techniques. Okay, so now you might be thinking, what if the target never executes the payload on their system? How can we get access to that system then? Yeah, that's where our second method comes in, exploiting software vulnerabilities. Consider this. There's a software running on a targeted system that is connected to the internet and is vulnerable to a specific attack. In that case, we can research and use the right exploit code to gain access to the system. Let's see this with an example. Let's say I have an SSH service set up on this computer. SSH is used for remote connections. If you have the username and password for a specific computer, you can connect to it remotely. Now, if we have the username but don't know the password, we can try brute forcing it. That means trying a list of different passwords with the same username, hoping that one of them matches and grants us access to the system. All right, let's see how we can do this via metasploit. We can search for an exploit that allows us to brute force passwords and use it with our target username. For passwords, we can use word lists like RockU. RockU is a word list that comes pre-installed with Kali Linux and contains millions of different passwords. You can run it to check if it contains the correct password for your target. Of course, this is not the only method. If someone is using a vulnerable version of a software, we can research online to see if that specific version has known vulnerabilities. If it does, we can then try exploiting it. This is a huge topic and, honestly, a whole separate video could be made on it. Let me know if you want a complete video on this topic too. That's all I have for you in this video. If you found it useful, make sure to subscribe and drop a like. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Also, check out the link in the description to join our Discord server for free. If you have any question, you can ask them over there. We stay online there most of the time. Or if you want personal guidance and free access to all our resources, you can get our monthly membership for just $12 a month. That's less than the price of a pizza. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.